Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for Psych 5 Social Psychology for Saturday, February 25th. Like I always do, I'm just going to go over a few reminders, clarifications, anything I think you need to know to stay on top of things in our course and be successful. So let's get started. First up here, I have posted the scores from your Unit 2 exam, so do take a look at that, especially the feedback on your short answer essay questions there. I'm just going to caution again and remind everybody, as I did in a recent announcement again, and also in the instructions for each exam there, that you need to be careful about not outsourcing your responses to these essay questions. So don't copy and paste information from your textbook, because some of you did that. I mean, I was really surprised to see just literally some folks did that. Don't use an AI generator to provide your responses as well, because I have detectors I can show that, and it's going to be pretty apparent to me when something looks like it was written like out of a textbook. I know it wasn't an original writing. I know that it was just copied and pasted in. So be careful about that. Paraphrase, put things in your own words. It's pretty easy to do that. I give you a heads up on what the essay questions are going to be about in the study guide there. There's really no reason to not make the effort to do that material there, because if you don't, and I can see you just copied and pasted something from an outside source, you're just going to get 0 points. So it's just a waste of your time. Dedicate yourself to generating your own original responses. And this isn't rocket science in this course, and so it's not too much to ask for everyone to do that. So please be careful to do that there. Next up here is that Unit 3 opened up on Tuesday of this week. It covers 3 chapters, chapters 6, 7, and 8, which are some pretty interesting chapters on emotions, attitudes, and also persuasion, which is one of my favorite topics in social psychology. Really great chapter there in chapter 8. You're certainly welcome to work ahead. You can knock out your quizzes, your discussions, your inquisitive stuff, your work ahead, get all that stuff done so you can focus on other things. And one of the things you need to be focusing on right now, and I can see some of you have already turned it in, is part 1 of your APA style literature review paper. It's component 1. That's due on Monday, February 27th there. Remember, the APA style literature review module is underneath Unit 5 of our course material, so scroll down past Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've included this in all the instructions about that. So it's underneath Unit 5. At the very top there of that module, you'll see the instructions for Component 1 and also a dedicated submission area for Component 1, because you aren't going to email your submission to me. You're going to upload it there in the clearly labeled submission area there. It must be in Microsoft Word. No PDFs, no Google Docs. It must be in Word. Everybody has free access to Microsoft Word through any Office 365 link you will find on any Canvas course page. So make sure that you're doing that there, and be careful about that. When you open up the instructions for Component 1 at the very top, first thing you want to do is watch the little video that I've got there. It's kind of a show and tell video where I walk you through with narration and screenshots and basically explain what you have to do. Remember, your topic of what you're going to turn in at this point, per the instructions you'll find there, is just your topic, which, by the way, must be from social psychology, the content of our course, so you have an entire textbook to go through and find something that you want, including those little module mini chapters at the end after chapter 14. Those are all totally legitimate chapters and content to use there. So pick out your topic. You're also going to include a thesis statement, which is simply a sentence or two describing how you're going to approach your topic, and a list of 5 APA style references. There are sample thesis statements included in the instructions, so do take a look at that. And there's also a completed sample submission for you to take a look at too. And as I explained in the instructions there, your 5 references in APA style must be references that are genuine research articles, so academic peer-reviewed journal published articles, psychology-related books, websites, pamphlets, videos, etc. That's not psychological research, so it doesn't count towards your 5 minimum. You are allowed to include those kinds of non-research sources, only in addition to having at least 5 minimal research sources that you list there. So they're like the studies you read about in your book all the time. Those are actual studies, and that's what I want you to have for your references. And so they must be in proper APA style. I've put up links to the FCC library website about APA style, but also probably you'll find more helpful is the online link there to the online writing lab, the OWL, or the OWL as it's called. It's really great for all things APA style. There's great sections on there on how you format a reference, including samples. So make sure you use those resources there to do that. And if you're having trouble finding resources there that are academic peer-reviewed research articles, if you read the instructions carefully there towards the middle there, I've got a link there to a file on finding academic peer-reviewed research articles and APA style. And so I recommend using a particular research database from our library website called Academic Search Premier, sometimes called EBSCO. I have detailed instructions. All you got to do is check a little box there when you do the database search, and that little box will only return academic peer-reviewed research articles, so you don't have to worry about things like Time Magazine or a newspaper or a book or a website or something like that. So it's really great. So consider using that particular database. It's really comprehensive as a database for psychology research articles, and I would really like you to do that. Let's see here. You'll find near the bottom of the instructions something very helpful too, a file that's called a rubric. A rubric basically is just a grading scheme, little Freudian slip there, that an instructor will use that will show you how you're going to earn points or how points might be deducted for various things being present or absent on your submission. So do take a look at that, so it'll really help you avoid making some beginner's mistakes with APA style, because I know for a lot of you this might be your first time doing it, but there's some easy rules to follow. Take a look at the samples that you have access to through all the links I provided there, but also take a look at that rubric. It'll show you some do's and don'ts, things that'll cost you points if you put them in there, so be careful about those things. And again, there is a dedicated submission area where you're going to upload your Word file. Just make sure you get it on time. If you are allowed to submit it late, but per the policies on your syllabus, and also per the policies I included there on the bottom of the instructions, and also in the bottom of the instructions for the submission area, I detail that if you submit late, it's 10% deduction. If it's late, and then it's 5% additional deduction for every 24-hour period after that. All that's in the instructions there when it's from your syllabus. Okay. Next up here is that our first chapter in Unit 3, Chapter 6 on Emotion. That quiz and discussion is due next Friday, March 3rd. And don't forget that time differential. The discussion is due at 9 p.m. The quiz is due at 11:59 p.m. So always keep that in mind. I'm sure all of you know that by now, but just a reminder. Otherwise, I already posted the link to the Zoom meeting on this coming Monday at 1 p.m., so please come if you can. I just treat it as basically open office hours, so if you got any questions about anything, that's a good time to show up, because then you can get a live version of me to answer your questions. Otherwise, I will see you in those lecture videos, so make sure you're watching those, and I will see you here next Saturday at the usual time. So take care. I'll see you next time.